Mistakenly, I have not saved into my laptop. I basically stopped it. So chapter 10 recording is not there. If required, I can share my old recordings also.
Yes, Prabhuji, devotees were asking, so please share.
Yeah. Om Namah Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namah Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namah Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Agyantimrandhasya Gyananjan Shalakya Chakshur Umritamen Tasmai Shri Guruve Namah. नमो ओम विष्णुपदाय कृष्ण पृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमती भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी निति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवी गौरवाणी प्रचारिण निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य तारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. Welcome everyone to the 13th day of our spiritual journey. We have already covered 12th chapter. We are lagging behind for one of the particular chapters since I was not available on Thursday. So that day class couldn't happen. So we will extend one more day to cover it. I understand. Quality is more important than quantity. So yesterday we couldn't do 2 chapters because quality takes the priority. Even I also couldn't go in a very speedy way. I also consumed approximately 50 minutes of the time for the class. So it's better that we will do one day, one chapter. Today, I'm thinking that I will show you a small video also after the end of the session. Today's chapter is Chetragya Vibhag Yoga. That means nature, enjoyer, and consciousness. So when we say nature, enjoyer, and consciousness, that means we will discuss about Prakriti, Purush, and Chetna. 2 important sections of Bhagavad Gita is already been taken care, already been discussed. The first was Karma Yoga part, second was Bhakti Yoga part. Now we are going to talk about Jnana Yoga. So we will think from the Jnana Yoga perspective. Although Karma and Bhakti will also go side by side, but most of it, if you see the entire section of this 13, 14, 15 and until 18th chapter, it is more focused towards the Dhyan side. So let's see what Arjun is asking. There are 2 shloks here. Arjuna Vachaha Prakritim Purusham Chaiva Kshetram Chetragyameva cha Etat Veditum Ichchami Jnanam Gecha Keshava. Now, with this, Krishna is responding. Sri Bhagavan Vachaha Idam Shariram Kaunteya Kshetram iti abhidhyate Edato Veti Tam Prahu Kshetragya iti Tatvidah. Here, Arjuna is asking some questions. Very important thing. This chapter has certain information. For this, you need to have proper concentration. If you can concentrate, then it is very easy to understand. If you will not concentrate and if you are trying to do multiple tasks at the same time, then it would be difficult. So it's better that leave all the work aside and focus on this chapter, because the chapter is going to talk about the nature, the enjoyer, and the consciousness. Arjun is saying, oh dear Krishna, I wish to know about Prakriti, that's nature, Purush, the enjoyer, and the field and the knower of the field, and of knowledge and the object of knowledge, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Then replies, this body, O son of Kunti, body is called the field, and one who knows this body is called the knower of the field. Now, let me tell you, there are certain terms. Kshetra. When we say Kshetra, that means field. Please, if you want, make a note of it. Krishna is asking that what is Kshetra, what is field? Arjun wants to understand what is Kshetra, which is known as field. What is Chetragya? When we say Chetragya, that means knower of the field, someone who knows the field. Gyan. Third topic is Gyan. That means knowledge. And the fourth topic is Ge. Okay, object of the knowledge. So fourth topic, I'm just repeating it again. Four important things Arjun wants to understand, which is one is Kshetra, that is field. Second is Chetragya, that is the knower of the field, someone who knows the field. Third is Gyan, that is knowledge. And the fourth is Gay, that means object of the knowledge. Now let's try to understand what is this. So since Arjun has asked about the question, Krishna is responding. Krishna is saying this our entire body is nothing but a field. Our body is nothing but field. That is the Kshetra. I'm purposely going very slow for initial 2-3 sloks because this is bit tedious. If we understand properly, then the flow of the chapter will go on its own. The answer of Kshetra is your body. Our body is nothing but field. Knower of the body is Kshetragya. That means someone who knows the body. Now, who knows the body? It's an important question. When we say knower of the body, that means someone knows the body. Now, Atma, which is soul, Atma, that's the soul, knows our body. The Kshetragya has two parts. One is the soul, and the other is the super soul. Soul knows one's body. That means my soul will know my body only. My soul cannot talk about your body. So the limitation of the soul is within my body. That is Kshetragya. And the super soul, that is another part, is he knows everyone's body. Paramatma. When we say super soul, Paramatma. So Kshetra is your body. That's the field. Kshetragya is someone who knows the body. That means knower of the field. So there are two knower of the field. One is Atma, another is Paramatma. Atma is the soul which knows only our body. That is the limit of it. But whereas the Paramatma, that is super soul, he knows everyone. He knows everybody. Okay. I believe it's clear. Now, knowing the difference between the matter and the spirit. Our body, if you see, our body is made up of Panch Mahabhut. Fire, water, sky, air, and earth. When we die, the entire body get decomposed and all the matters, all the Panch Mahabhut takes their own part of it. Whereas there is another body. There is another body which is made up of mind, ego, and intelligence. False ego. That's the spirit. Now, let's talk about the section which Arjuna has asked. Prakriti is what? Material nature. Prakriti means material nature. Purush, he is the enjoyer of the material nature. What we do, we enjoy the material nature, right? Kshetra is nothing but our body. Kshetragya is nothing but our soul and super soul. Gyan, Jnanam or Gyan, that means knowledge. Someone who understand that Kshetra and Kshetragya, someone who understand the field and the knower of the field, so is the knowledge. That means we have knowledge if we understand that what's the body and who knows the body. That's Gyan. Goal of the knowledge is what? Paramatma. The Gay. Another part was Gay. That means object of the knowledge. What is the object of the knowledge? To understand Paramatma. That's the aim of the, that's the goal of knowledge. So moving further. So I believe it's clear until now. Chetragyam chapi mama vidhi. Ma'am, if something is really urgent, then only raise the hand, or else you have any questions, please you can ask the questions towards the end of the session, or else the flow of the chapter gets disturbed. Purposely have reiterated many of the topics so that everyone could have noted down. Chetragyam chapi mam vidhim sarva kshetreshu bharatah. क्षेत्र क्षेत्र क्यों ज्ञानम यत यतत ज्ञानम मतं मम matam mama. Now here what Krishna is saying, O scion of Bharat, if something is really urgent, then please text in the chat box. If it is really urgent, then I will try to answer, or else we will take it at the end of the session. O scion of Bharata, you should understand that I am also the knower in all the bodies. When I say I am the knower in all bodies, that means I am the Paramatma. And to understand this body and its knower is called knowledge. That is my opinion. So what is Gyan? What is knowledge? To understand the Gyata, someone who knows it, and someone who knows the body and the knower of the body, someone who knows that he is Paramatma, he is Atma, this is Sharir, and someone who knows this is knowledge, Gyan. That means we can understand about our body. I know that what are the problems in my body, but I cannot tell the problems of your body. I can see that, oh, you are beautiful, you are young, you don't have any problems, but internally what you have the problems is known by your body, not by me. So if you see this particular image, now this person is what he is doing, what there is an Atma and Paramatma, both soul and super soul. Soul and super soul both exist into the body. He's enjoying the puff of the cigarette, at the same time he's thinking of a lady. So Atma knows about him, but Paramatma is there in each and every body. So he is witnessing everything. Even though this particular person is in sleep, but then also he's thinking about money, honey, everything. And even though he's in deep sleep, then also Atma and Paramatma, soul and super soul is active. They never goes to sleep. So if you say this is the field, now like I'm giving an example. A farmer knows about his field only, but the king knows about the entire kingdom. If you see, this farmer knows about his field, that how maybe suppose he is having 5 acres of land, so he knows every inch of 5 acres because that's his property. But the kingdom, the king of the kingdom knows every bits and pieces, nooks and quarters of all his entire kingdom. That's why the soul knows his body, but the Paramatma, the super soul, knows everyone's body. So Annamay, Pranmay, Gyanmay, Vigyanmay, and then Anandamay. If you see in the 13.5 sloka, it's been discussed that when you eat food, you get power, you get energy. Because of the food, energy has been created, and if no food, we are energyless. We can't do anything. To survive the body, we need to have food. That is Annamay. And when we get the energy, that our pran gets power. Pran Shakti gets developed. It's get activated. If it's not get activated, then we are in Shubda state. So when we have food, we get power in the body, and that power also leads to the Pran Shakti. Then comes to the Gyanmay. When we say Gyanmay, that means we try to understand the Manomaya. We try to understand the knowledge. We try to understand what is the body, what is the soul, what is the super soul. And then the next level comes the Vigyanmay. That means we try to understand this from the scientific purpose. The spirituality and science both goes hand in hand. And then finally, when we understand that spirituality is much ahead than the material science which you see in this universe, then we are already in the ecstasy. We are in the Anandamay state. We are into a happy state. So let's see. Now Krishna is saying the five great elements. Mataji, am I clearly audible? Or is there any issue?
Very properly audible, Prabhuji. Very
Okay.
nicely.
Okay. Because I just received a message in the chat box that I am not audible. Okay.
No, Prabhuji.
See the five great elements. The five great elements, that means Panch Mahabhut, which we have seen. The fire, earth, water, ether, all those five elements. The false ego, the intelligence, the unmanifested form. The 10 senses and the mind. The five sense objects, desire, hatred, happiness, distress, the aggregate, the life symptoms and convictions, all these are considered in summary to be the field of activities and its interactions. So in general, we have 24 tattvas, 24 elements. If you see, we have actions, reactions between these 24 elements. And these 24 elements is what? Five great elements, that is Panch Mahabhut, Man, Buddhi, Ahankar, 10 senses, five sense objects, desire, hatred, happiness, distress, aggregate, life symptoms and convictions, and many more things. This all becomes 24. So we are not just governed by one or two factors. Our entire body, our entire thinking system, everything is governed by this 24 factors. We may not know, and neither the science which we say. What we do? We do graduation, we do post graduation, we do PhD, we write thesis, we do research, and we feel that we are doing advanced education, but we are not at all doing any kind of advanced education. Now let me tell you a scenario. Once a time, Prabhupada visited US, and he was being invited in the MIT University. The dean of that university was very proud that MIT University, one of the best universities in the entire world. So he asked Prabhupada to have a walkthrough of the entire university. And he was very proud to show, oh, see this particular department, we are doing research on this. So we have great number of faculties, we have the best of the best facilities available. So what do you feel, Prabhupada, on this? He was expecting that Prabhupada will praise that, yes, you have a very good infrastructure in your facilities is one of the best. You have state of the art infrastructure available. But Prabhupada said, no, you have many more things, but one very important department is missing. The dean of that particular institute was very surprised. He said that, no, we have everything. We have everything. Many of the universities in the world don't have even fragments of what we have. Prabhupada said, irrespective of that, whatever you have is just materialistic, useless. He used the word useless. And the dean, who was surprised to hear such comments, said, why you are saying this? We have everything. We have everything which is there on my checklist. Everything we have it. Prabhupada said, one very important department which talks about the self and the super soul, which talks about self and the super soul, and the soul is missing. You have all what is materialistic, but spiritual education is not there. And without spiritual education, everything is waste. You are just giving the education to fulfill the stomach. Materialistic education is just for getting money so that you fulfill your stomach. But what about the fulfillment of your thought, fulfillment of your mind? The mind also need food. What is the food for thought, for the mind? You don't have that particular department. So we may think that we are really getting advanced, we are doing PGs, MBAs, we are really great, but materialistically, yes, we are really advanced, but spiritually we are yet to be scratching the ground. We are actually on the base. Now, let's talk about we talked about the nature, we talked about the enjoyer, right? Prakriti Purush, and let's talk about the consciousness, Chetna. Now, let's try to understand. If the knife is there in the robber's hand, what will happen? He will try to extract money because of threat. He will he will give you a threat and he will extract money. But if a knife is there in the doctor's hand, what will happen? He will treat the patient. He will do surgery for the health, better health of the patients. It depends on the consciousness. Now let's talk about 5 slokas, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. It's the symptoms of Jnani, someone who is in knowledge. So what it says? Humility, pridelessness, non-violence, tolerance, simplicity, approaching a bona fide spiritual master, cleanliness, steadiness, self-control, renunciation of the object of sense gratification, absence of false ego, the perception of the evil of birth, the death, the old age and the disease, detachment, freedom from entanglement of with children, wife, home and the rest, even-mindedness, amidst pleasant and unpleasant events, constant and unalloyed devotion to me, in aspiring to live in a solitary place, detachment from the general mass of people, accepting the importance of self-realization and philosophical search for the absolute truth. All this I declare to be knowledge, and beside this, whatever there may be is ignorance. In general, it is approximately 26 symptoms of a knowledgeable person. If you want to understand that who is a knowledgeable person, then these are the symptoms of 26. These 26 symptoms can tell you that the person is really knowledgeable or not. Now, this knowledgeable Prabhupada is talking about, or Krishna is talking about, spiritual knowledge, not the materialistic knowledge. Now, let me talk about some of the important qualities. I cannot cover everything here, but when we talk about humility, humility means vinamrata, simplicity. Pridelessness. Pridelessness means something which you are not there, then also you want to show. So you don't want to show that. That is pridelessness. Non-violence, ahimsa. Tolerance is something that shanti, sahishnuta, which we say. Simplicity is nothing but simply saralta, which we say in Hindi. Accepting spiritual master means disciplining school from the 4 sampradayas, Guru Shishya Parampara. Cleanliness means socham, clean. Steadiness means thirtha. Right? So these are some of the qualities of a knowledgeable person, and which is not mentioned here is ignorance, agyan. So if you see, every person has a problem, and every person's problem is bit different. So we cannot have a simple solution for everyone. Solution has to be tailor made for individual persons, individual problem. Okay. Yeah. 13th shloka says, I shall now explain the knowable knowing, which you will taste the eternal Brahman, the spirit, the beginningless and the subordinate to me, lies beyond the cause and effect of this material world. This is the 13th shloka. Now, we have seen knowable means someone who knows it. I shall now explain the knowable, knowing which you will taste the eternal. That means I will tell you something which is very important. After knowing that, you will know what is Brahman. what is soul, which is beginningless. That means there is no beginning, no end of that. And that soul is subordinate to me. And it is beyond the cause and effect of this material world. That means the soul, which is residing in our heart, is beyond the materialistic environment. But since that particular Chetna consciousness is there, we are living. Now imagine, you all know what is the, uh, someone has already calculated the size, I don't remember. Our, the size of the soul is 1 by 10,000, right? Of the tip of hair. If that Chetna or the soul has consciousness, right? Chetna. If the soul gets out from the body, we are dead. Why we are saying that people is dead? It's a body, dead body, because the soul, the Chetna, the consciousness has gone from the body. And that minute, invisible soul, which is 1 by 10,000 of the hair tip, which we can't see from our naked eyes, materialistic eyes, if that is gone, we are dead. We have become dead body. Imagine such a minute, which is difficult to see, impossible to see, that has such power that we can do whatever we can think of. We, we are there because of this conscious, but that minute soul is beyond the materialistic environment, materialistic world. The 15th slok says, the super soul is the original source of all the senses, yet he is without senses. He is unattached. Although he is the maintainer of all the living beings, he transcends the mode of nature. At the same time, he is the master of all the modes of material nature. See, there are two things, soul and super soul. Soul knows just our body, super soul knows everyone. The super soul is what? Is the original souls of all the senses. But he is without senses. That means like we have senses, super soul doesn't have the senses. Super soul is the controller of the senses, and whereas we are the slave of the senses. He is unattached. Although he maintains all the living beings, because of him only everyone is maintained. Not only human beings, living beings he's talking about. He transcends the mode of nature. He is the controller of the material modes of nature. And what are the material modes of nature? Satogun, Tamogun, Rajogun. Mode of goodness, mode of passion, and mode of ignorance. So he controls all the mode. He is the controller. And whereas what we are there, we are controlled. He is the master of all the modes of material nature. So that's the property of super soul. Now, it's like this. You know that this entire world is nothing but what? A prison. So someone who is living in the prison is a prisoner, and he has to follow the rules of the prisoner. He cannot go out. He has to do laborious work. He cannot have anything as a liberty. But the jailer or the king, if he visits the jail, if he visits the prison, he cannot be a prisoner. He is the controller of the prison, right? The king visits the prison and he takes a round, sees whether the facilities are right or not, and then he come out. If he is going into the prison, he cannot be locked. He cannot become a prisoner. Similarly, super soul is what? Super soul is free from everything. He maintains the entire world, but he is not attached. Similarly, the king is not attached to the prison. Like that, the super soul is not attached to anyone. The supreme truth exists outside and inside of all the living beings, the moving and the non-moving, because he is subtle, he is beyond the power of the material senses to see or to know. Although far, far away, he is also near to all. The supreme truth means Param Satya. The supreme truth exists outside and inside of all the living beings. That means he is inside also, is outside also. He's moving also, is non-moving also. We cannot control by our thoughts. He is subtle. He is beyond the power of material senses. You cannot see from the material senses. He is sitting into the Golok. He is sitting in the Golok. Just a second. He is sitting into the Golok, and by sitting into the Golok, he can control the entire universe. He doesn't need physically to be present here because he is always with us and we cannot see that. He is although very far in Golok, but he is very close to us. We're talking about the super soul, Paramatma. He is the source of light in all the luminous objects. Whatever luminous objects we see, he is the source of light. He is beyond the darkness of matter and is unmanifested. He is beyond the darkness. He is knowledgeable. He is knowledge. He is the object of the knowledge and is the goal of the knowledge. Now, what we see? Paramatma is the Jnani. He is the Gay and the Gyan Kalaksh. That means he is the object of the knowledge. He is the goal of the knowledge. And he is the knowledge because he knows each and every one. Unlike us, that we can know our body. That's it. And he is situated in everyone's heart. Everyone's heart. Thus, the field of activities, that means our body, the Kshetra, the knowledge, and the knowable have been summarily described by me. So Krishna is saying, I have described the Kshetra, that is body. I described the knowable, that means Chetragya, and I've described the knowledge also, the Gyan. Only my devotees can understand this thoroughly and thus attain to my nature. So Krishna is very well saying that only who is my devotee, he can understand this concept. And someone who is not my devotee, he will just scratch his head and try to understand what is this knowledge, knowable, or the field. It will bounce. That means if you need to understand this Kshetra, Gyan, Ge, or the body, the knowledge, the knowable, the knowledge of the object, if you try to understand this concept, then you have to understand through the devotional way. You have to be very faithful. So you can see this particular image. You can see everywhere, even a bird, even a fruit, everything, even a tree, everything is what? Living being, right? And in every living being, what is that? Krishna, Paramatma. 20th shloka. Material nature and the living entities should be understood to be beginningless. Their transformations and the modes of matter are product of material nature. That means the material nature and the living entities are beginningless. The 21st shloka. Nature is said to be the cause of all material causes and effects, whereas the living entity is the cause of all the various sufferings and enjoyments in this world. Absolutely. Very important. He's saying nature, that means material nature is the cause of all the material causes and effect. Whereas the Jeev, that means the living entity, is the cause of various sufferings and enjoyment. So the material nature is the cause of material. Whereas living entity like you and me, we are always in the suffering. Sometimes we are very much enjoying it. Sometimes we are in distress because of the cause and effect of material nature. Because we want to show our power on the material nature. We want to establish, oh, we are purchasing 5 acres of land. I am the owner. I am the owner of the land. I have done the registration of the property. So we are enjoying it. But we feel that that particular 5 acres of land is mine. I'm enjoying the nature, but not. That is just an enjoyable thing. Similarly, we are suffering also. Now, let me tell you an example. You know that if you need to understand spirituality cannot be taught in materialistic educational environment. Neither the college, neither the institute explain you spirituality. So we have to learn through this particular medium only. Now, if you have to understand this particular slide 13.21, so what we do? if we are caught in a tough situation, we always try to blame someone else. We don't try to take the blame on us. We always try to blame anyone else. Now, let me tell you an example. Suppose if there is a thief and he has caught red-handed, and since he has been caught red-handed, he will be taken to the court. What the judge will do? Judge will penalize him. He will declare the punishment, maybe 6 months or 1 year of the jail. So the thief, if the thief says, I am caught and I am going to jail because of you only, because of you, I am going to put behind the bars. I will see to it that after I am coming out from the jail, I will see to it that I will take the revenge. Don't you think that particular person is tamoguni? The judge is doing its duty. He has awarded the punishment because of the activity which is done, because of the karma which the thief has done. He has done the theft, and because of the theft, he was been awarded the punishment. But such persons never take ownership of their own activities. They say, I am going to jail because of the judge, not because of my activity of theft. Similarly, this is why the living entity is the cause of various sufferings and enjoyment. Now, see this particular image. Can anyone try to explain what this image is? Anyone? If anyone wants to explain this image, please raise your hand.
Yes, Atish Prabhuji, please unmute.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, please explain the slide.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Prabhuji, I only understand that that person is hanging from that branch of the tree, which is very lean and thin, because there is Sri Krishna who is wishing his safety and making it happen that the branch is not breaking and he falling off in the water amidst the snakes.
Okay. Anyone else? Can anyone else wants to try it out?
Sairam Prabhuji, please unmute.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Hare Krishna.
This picture depicts that the person is in a very dangerous condition, that there is a harm for his life, and like there are many threats, like the tree is very weak, and elephant is also like weakening the tree, and at the bottom there is a spoiled poisonous snakes. So apart from all these happening events, I think he believes in concept of Lord Krishna, that he will help at any way.
No, no, Prabhu, no. Usha Pai Mataji, can you please explain? You raised the hand.
Please unmute Usha Mataji.
Yeah. Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
That person who is hanging is the Jeev, that is the we ourselves, and all the other things are all the materialistic things which keeps us away from the God. With that's our false ego or our whatever so false ego or all the materialistic things which we are doing. And if we, the only person who wherever we go in this road, we will always fall in trouble, because if we climb the tree there, we may hit that honeycomb. Like these are the different senses which are taking us away from the God, and the only thing which we can do to survive from here is chant the name or go towards the light, which is actually Krishna. So it is these are all that person is nothing but us, and these all materialistic things are actually going to take away downfall. Wherever we go with this lust, we are going to see the downfall only. Only Krishna can save us from all this, is what I understand.
Okay, let me summarize this. If you can see this particular image, this person who is hanging on the branch of a tree is none other than you and me. We are in this materialistic world trying to find happiness, trying to find enjoyment in all the materialistic things. Now, if you see this particular person, he's hanging, and if you see on top there is a honeycomb, and from that drops of honey has been going down. He's trying to lick it, and that honey is actually biting him. Honey is biting him, and the and you can see the mouse. They're trying to cut the branch of the tree, and the same time there is an elephant who wants to take away the entire tree from the roots. At the same time, if you suppose the branch has been cut down, he will land into the pool of water wherein snakes are waiting to bite him. That means his entire life is in danger. He doesn't know that what particular moment of the time he's going to die. But even though he's going to die, he is just thinking to fulfill his materialistic desires. So this is what we are also doing. We know that we are going to die. When we are going to die, we don't know. Every second, every minute, we are getting older and older. Now, normally we ask, how old are you? We never say how young you are. Right? We say we are 42 years old, we are 30 years old, we are 25 years old. That means we are actually old. We are getting older and older. But in spite of we are coming close to the death, then also we are not remembering Krishna, even though the Krishna is offering you an helping hand. He wants to take away to the his abode. He wants to take away to Golok, but we are avoiding him. We don't want to see towards Krishna because we feel that spirituality is something for the old person. Spirituality means something, it is meant for weak mind people. Spirituality is for them who doesn't have any kind of work. So we are basically ignoring Krishna. No Krishna. अभी टाइम नहीं, बहुत टाइम है अभी. मैं जब बुढ़ा हो जाऊंगा तब करूंगा मैं. Let me enjoy the materialistic desires of the world. Let me enjoy this. Let me do this. Let me do that. So this is what we are actually doing in the current life. We never know that we are actually stepping an inch and inch closer to the death. But then also someone who is giving us Gita, the knowledge of the Gita, we are not trying to get it. Just see, on the very first day we were 265 people, and today how many people we are there? Just 94, in which two is my account only. That means 92. One is Mataji, 91 actual attendance. So this is what the actual scenario. Janam Mrityu Jara Vyadhi Dukha Dosh Doshanu Darshanam. That means the birth, death, old age and disease are the actual real problems of human life, and we don't try to understand this. And what we think, this is a problem. So nobody wants problems, right? Nobody wants, but nobody can avoid the problems. Even though we want or don't want, problem comes to us. Similarly, happiness will also come on its own. That means the problem and the solution, it will come on its own time. So the real problem is birth, death, old age and disease, right? And what we feel, the food, shelter and clothing is the actual problem. No, food, shelter and clothing is the actual temporary problems. That is the need. Food, shelter and clothing is the need, but not the problems. So let's see the 22nd shloka. The living entity in material nature thus follows the way of life, enjoying the three modes of nature. Tomorrow onwards, we will discussing these three modes of nature in details. That Tamogun, Satogun, Rajagun. This is due to his association with that material nature. Thus, he meets with good and evil among various species. If you see, if I have to explain this particular shloka, it is as simple as this. We have got this human life. We have got, that means when we have got this human life, we are the actual luckiest person. We are very lucky. That's why we have got the human life. And human life is not for material sense enjoyment, not for sense gratification, but we are actually involved into that. This human life is basically for doing bhakti, getting closer to Krishna. And if you are doing, if you are actually doing sense gratification, that means we are not you making use of this manushya. We are actually making use. We are actually doing what? The work of Pashuyoni. In Pashuyoni, what happens? We enjoy bhog. The bhog yoni is nothing but Pashuyoni. And when we are in human life, we have to work for our salvation. You have to go towards Krishna. That means, our body is what? Consider, let me give you an example. Would you like to do the plowing of the field by sitting in Mercedes? Plowing of the field is done by the tractor, right? Plowing of the field is done by a tractor. But plowing, what we are doing? We are actually plowing the field through Mercedes, and this body is nothing but Mercedes, Audi, BMW. We are actually misusing this body. Yet in this body, there is another, a transcendental enjoyer, who is the Lord, the supreme proprietor, who exists as the overseer and permitter, and who is known as a super soul. So in our body, not only soul is there, even super soul is also there. Who is the transcendental enjoyer, who is the actual Lord, and who sees, who witness every wrong deeds and good deeds both. The three modes of worship we will discuss in details in coming chapter. Someone who is in mode of goodness, that means Satogun, worship demigods. Someone who is in Rajogun, mode of passion, worship powerful persons who has money, power. Someone who is in Tamogun, they do worship of ghost also. Reading, let's see the reading in three modes of nature. In Satoguni, what do? You read good books. You read Bhagavad Gita. You read Bhagavatam. And in Rajoguni, what you do? You try to read something like, how can I earn more and more money? How can I influence others? That kind of books is read in mode of passion. And Tamoguni people, what happens? As soon as they start reading, they fell asleep. It is the easiest way to get asleep. If you don't have sleep, read the books and you feel asleep. Now in Satogun, Rajogun, Tamogul, in examination, Satoguni people write what they have studied, learned. Rajoguni people prepare cheats. Tamoguni people, what they do? In the examination also, they can have luxury of sleep there. Satoguni people eat always prasad, which is offered to Lord. Rajoguni, lavish lunch, dinner. And in that, there will be non-veg, there will be liquor, everything. Tamoguni, they eat foods which is or more low of quality. 25th sloka says, some perceive the super soul within themselves through meditation. Some perceive the super soul within themselves through meditation, others through the cultivation of knowledge, and still others through working without fruitive desires. That means, if you want to pursue the super soul, if you want to think, meditate on the super soul, then you have to feel that yes, super soul is inside you. How? Through the knowledge. And still there are many people who try to pursue the super soul through nishkam, without fruity desire, nishkam karma. So by dhyan or by doing nishkam karma, you can understand the super soul. Now you can see Devhuti. Devhuti is the mother, and he is the son of Devhuti and Kapil Muni. This is Kapil Muni and this is Devhuti, Mata Devhuti. Kapil Muni is an incarnation of Krishna only. He is the one who has given the knowledge of Sankhya Yoga. Again, there are those who, although not conversant in spiritual knowledge, that means some people are not very expert in spiritual knowledge, begin to worship the Supreme Person upon hearing about him from others. Just by listening from someone, they start worshipping the Supreme Person. That means even though they don't have knowledge, just by listening, they will follow the Supreme Person. Because of their tendency to hear from authorities, they are transcendental path of birth and death. Since they have the tendency to hear the authorities, that means like sadhu sangha, they are doing sadhu sangha because of satsanga, and they will hear from the authorities, they will follow the path of supreme person, although they don't have much of understanding. Like if I have to give an example, if I want to get admission in a very good university, then what you need, there are two things: either you should have a very good merit, or should have recommendation letter. If you have a good merit, then you will get an admission, that means you are knowledgeable. If you don't have that much, then you need a recommendation letter. So now if you want to understand the spiritual knowledge, if you want to take an admission in the spiritual university, then you need to have the recommendation letter of your spiritual master. And with the influence of your guru, like if you hear, see, the influence of guru is what? Namnishta Prabhupada. We can understand the knowledge, we can think of it, we can start achieving milestones in this spiritual world, and by this we can transcend the path of birth and death. O chief of the Bharatas, know that whatever you see in existence, both the moving and the non-moving, is only a combination of the field of activities and the knower of the field. So whatever you see is nothing but the Kshetra and Chetragya. One who sees the super soul accompanying the individual souls in all the bodies, and one who understands that neither the soul nor the super soul within the destructible body is ever destroyed, actually sees. So who actually sees? Not someone who has a specs like this doesn't see. Someone who knows that in each and every individual, in each and every living being, whether it's a parrot, whether it's a human being, whether it's a lion, whether it's a crocodile, whether it's a snail, whether it is anyone, in each and every living being, there is soul and super soul. And he knows very clearly that the body is going to be destructible, body is going to destroy. He can only see. One who sees the super soul equally present everywhere in every living being does not degrade himself by his mind, thus he approaches the transcendental destination. So he can see that even in elephant also, even in the cow also, even in Brahmin also, even in a Chandal also, he can see that even in with a spiritual master also, every he can see that there is a super soul present. Then he doesn't degrade himself by his mind. One who can see that all activities are performed by the body, which is created of material nature, and sees that self does nothing actually sees. That means whatever activity is done by the body, not by the soul, because soul is impartial. The soul and super soul is impartial. Whatever happening is because of the body. He actually sees it. The sky. The sky, due to its subtle nature, does not mix with anything. Although it is all pervading, similarly, the soul situated in Brahman vision does not mix with the body or those situated in that body. Now, if I have to explain this slowly, it's like this. The air, when it flows through the garden, it takes away the smell of the fragrance of the flower also. When the air is traveling, flowing, it takes away the fragrance of the flower, but the fragrance of the flower never gets mixed into the air. Both are different. Similarly, whatever is there in the sky, beneath the sky, it is there. It is never get mixed with the sky. Similarly, the body is there, and Atma, the soul, doesn't get mixed into it. Whatever activity is done, it's done by the body. Soul doesn't have any role into that. Soul is independent. O son of Bharat, as the sun alone illuminates all this universe, So does the living entity one within the body illuminates the entire body by consciousness. We discussed that just some minutes before. That the sun illuminates the entire universe, right? It has so much luminosity in that. Similarly, our own individual body is illuminated by the soul, the Atma. If this Atma goes away, we are dead body. And till that time, Atma is there inside our body. We are a living person. We are a human being. We can do whatever we can do. And as soon as it goes away, we are dead. That means consciousness is there without consciousness is there with the soul. The last sloka. Those who see with the eye of knowledge the difference between the body and the knower of the body and can also understand the process of liberation from bondage in material nature attain to the supreme goal. And what is the supreme goal? Kanhaiya, Parameshwar. That means if you ज्ञान के आंखों से शरीर और आत्मा के डिफरेंस को समझोगे आप. That means with the vision of your knowledge, you can differentiate that this is the body and this is the soul. And in the body, soul and super soul both resides. Then you can attain the supreme goal. And the moral of this chapter is that you can't understand Krishna by your mental efforts. If you try to understand Bhagavad Gita, if you try to understand Krishna with your mental efforts, you cannot. You can never. So with the eye of knowledge only you can understand it. With the eye of devotional service, you can understand it. But with mental effort, if you think that if you have a very good IQ and based on your IQ, you can think, you can, with your mental effort, you can try to distinguish or understand Krishna. Sorry, wrong approach. So what is the solution for all the problems? Only solution is Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. In this Kali Yuga, the only means of deliverance is chanting the holy name of the Lord. There is no other way. There is no other way. There is no other way. All glory to the Sri Krishna Sankirtan, which cleans the heart of all the dust accumulated for years and extinguish the fire of conditional life of repeated birth and death. With this, we come close to the end of the chapter. So you want to see the video? If you want, then raise your hand so that I can understand that you want to see the video, because we have already crossed 10 o'clock. Although since we have crossed 10 o'clock, I will, okay, I understand that you want to see the video. Let me find a small video so that I will not consume much of your time then. Just a minute, let me try to find out the video. अंजू मेरा उसमें से हार्ड डिस्क देना जरा. Okay, let Are you okay? Just a second. I will show you the video tomorrow. The pen drive which I am having, that's the video is getting corrupted. I can't open from that. I have another copy available in my hard disk. I will show it tomorrow. Okay. One Mataji has asked about that she wanted to know why Krishna is using the flute, right? You wanted to if the Mataji is still there in the class, then I can take that small story why Krishna is using the flute. Is that Mataji is there?
Yes, Prabhuji, I am here.
Okay. Okay. Then I will see. Basically, if you see our Murari ji, Kanhaiya ji, Krishna entire life gives direction to human society. Whatever he has done, he has set an example for a human society. Every symbol or the sign attached to him has special significances. Everything that he did had some purpose behind it, and hence he is connected with every aspect of our human life. And that's the reason why every one of us have a feeling that Krishna is very dear to him. And that's the reason, that's one of the reason why flute is there. And let me tell you. Once a time, Lord Krishna asked his devotees that what they would like to become in his hand. So he gave an opportunity that, okay, if I give an opportunity, what do you like to become? Some said that they like to become the lotus flower. Some said that they want to become the conch. Some said that I will become your Sudarshan Chakra. And so on, so on. But no one mentioned about the flute. A reason. Krishna then told them, advised them to become his flute. And he said that in the human personality structure, if you see the flute, there are 8 main aspects, main spots. If you see the 5 organs, the Panch Mahabhut, and the 3 Sukshma thing, mind, intelligence, and false ego. That 8 main spots are nothing but the Panch Mahabhut and 3 things. All becomes 8: Panch Mahabhut and mind, intelligence, and false ego. So if we get rid of our ego and becomes like a hollow flute, then the Lord will come to us, pick us, put his lips and breathe, put his lips and breathe through you and out of the hollowness of the heart. That means if you see in the flute, there are hollow holes, and the flute has gone too much of pain when the hole was been created. But because of these 8 holes, his heart is so pure that there is nothing inside it. Whatever is there is Krishna only. Heart is so pure. So if we want to be becoming a flute, then we have to get rid of all this Panch Mahabhut. The 5 senses should be cleaned. The mind, ego, everything has to be clean so that our heart is very pure. And then the captivating melody will emerge from all the creation to enjoy from the flute of Krishna. But if we continue our attitude of like dislikes, hatred, jealousy, the Lord will be at a very high distance from us because we want to be materialistic. You want to, this is the understanding which I have. There is a story also. The story goes like this: that once a time Sri Krishna was sitting on the banks of the river Yamuna, playing the flute, hearing the melodious music of the flute. The gopis come closer to Krishna and sat down. During the time, gopis asked, "Oh, flute, what you have done in your past life? That Krishna always touch you. He puts his lips on you, and you are really a great because you always have the union and the support and the um, of Krishna." The flute smiled and said, "I have waited for many births to come close to Sri Krishna. In the Treta Yuga, Lord Ram was cutting the forest dwellings, and I met him at that time. There was very adorable flowers around him. I was useless, basically. I had no special qualities compared to those plants. But Ramji gave me the same importance as other plant. In spite of I was having no special qualities, I felt I felt loved by touching their gentle steps. The Lord did not care for my hardness. I was so hard, but He was so soft with me. They had unfathomable love in the hearts. For the very first time in my life, I was accepted by someone with so much of love. Because of this, I wish to live with them lifelong. But during that time, they were bound by their modesty. Right? Krishna was bound by modesty. So they promised to keep me with me in the copper age. In this copper age means copper age. Treta Yuga. Sorry. Treta. Sri Krishna kept me with me while keeping his words. That's why I'm very dear to Krishna because I have nothing for myself. I have given whatever I had to Krishna only. Whether he uses, whether he misuses, it's all left to him. That's the reason Krishna has the flute with him. Now, another story which you wanted to hear, that why Krishna has a peacock feather, I will tell you tomorrow. It's also a very good story. Many people have already left from the session. The attendance has already gone down from 94 to 67. That is a very good story about Radha Rani, peacock, and our Kanhaiya. Very good story. We will discuss it tomorrow. Mataji, we can have question answers.
Yes, Prabhuji. Devotees, please raise your hand.
My daughter want to sing a bhajan. Tomorrow I will ask her. Tomorrow I will ask her that before the start of the class, or maybe after the Maha Mantra jap ends, she will take some of her time, some minutes, and she will sing a bhajan for every one of us.
Yes, Prabhuji, we would love to hear.
Yeah, Atish Prabhu.
Yes. Atish Prabhuji, please unmute.
You are the actual opener of the question.
Pranam Maharaj Ji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.
Maharaj Ji, I wondered from very childhood. Okay, before that, I would like to share something with you. I'm not boasting about this, but it is Krishna's grace that I have my inclinations towards him from my very childhood.
That's great.
Like when I was 3-4 years old, a new photograph of Krishna was brought home, and looking at the photograph, I asked, "Who is he?" "He's Krishna. He's Bhagwan." My parents said, and immediately I got hold of the photograph and I said, I want to see him,
Mhm.
and I will just not let go of the photograph. They were trying to pull the photograph away. They were trying to take care that the edges shouldn't hurt my hand because I was very small. But I
Mhm.
will not leave the photograph. I
Mhm.
cried, but then I did not. But then I had to let it go because
Mhm.
they were persuading me. Okay, he will come, beta. He will come. So now I have come to your class and I am listening to such sacred words of Bhagavad Gita. These are not simple concepts to be understood on the streets. This needs proper guidance, and that kind of mentor teacher who has been practicing it. Now I would like to ask you a question. Now, with this aspiration to lead a spiritual life from my childhood, be a good human being from my childhood,
Mhm.
I have always possessed a very submissive nature, a nature that never intends to hurt anyone, never abused anyone. But being soft, I missed out on many priorities in life.
Mhm.
Like I did not take life that seriously.
Mhm.
Now at coming to age of 33, now I think to establish my image in front of my family, I
Mhm.
should do some savings, buy a flat,
Mhm.
get married, and all this.
Mhm.
Alongside, I also think, why don't I become a monk? But I have to look at the family also. They are looking up to me. They are not expecting me to suddenly leave home and go somewhere. Now, being in the world, we indulge in various kinds of things. Like, I'm sorry to say, like I told, I mean, uh, gambling and illicit sex are different things. It is not a mere possibility. But
Mhm.
what about non-veg and smoking and all that? So, like that, sometimes I also have to tell lie. Unwillingly, I have to tell it because my boss wants me to tell it. Because otherwise, I modified the thing in a simple way so that the other person is convinced over it, which I don't agree with. But then I have to do it. So I think that I follow Ekadashis and I chant Krishna's name and I
Mhm.
be humble and a sober guy. But in this world, I have to do certain things which I myself unwillingly do it.
Prabhu, I got
So
a question. I got the question. Let me answer it first of all. If I want to lead a spiritual life, for that there is no need of becoming a monk. Even a grihastha who understand the value of life, who understand the Bhagavad Gita, who values the four principles of ISKCON, he can live a very happily grihastha life. He can take care of his family. He can take care of his parents. He can take care of the society also. But understand, it's not needed that you leave the family, go to the secluded places, stay in Himalayas, or you can stay in Vrindavan, or you stay in Uttarakhand. No, it's not needed, Prabhu. If your heart is really clean and you understand the value of life, you can walk away with a very clear purpose of attaining Krishna. Now, question is that you say that sometimes you don't want to do something but has to be forcibly done. Prabhuji, that's what Krishna has said. Whatever karma you are doing, offer that karma to me. And when you will offer the karma to me, you are in line with me. And if you cannot offer the karma to me, at least offer the fruits of the karma to me.
yeah,
So
yeah,
whatever you wish to do,
yes,
Prabhu, think Krishna is at the center and you are doing everything for the center. Now, suppose you are getting married. Okay, think that
yes,
I am getting married, so that now instead of single I will be double now. Okay, with my wife I will do the devotional service of Krishna. Now after some time there will be a kid. I will ensure that the kid also understand the value of life. He understand Bhagavad Gita. He should memorize the shloka. He should understand the what Bhagavad Gita is. So whatever you do, if you are doing a marriage, think of Krishna. If you are cooking, think of Krishna. If you are working, think of Krishna, and try to offer all your offerings to Krishna, keeping him in the center of your life, aim of the life, goal of the life. And there is nothing wrong, Prabhu. If you're building a home, if you're purchasing a home, you're fulfilling the needs or desires of your parents, nothing wrong, Prabhu. Being in Grihast, you can do everything which a monk can do. And if there
Okay.
is no
Yes.
need, there is no need, Prabhu. I am also a Grihastha. I have not left my wife. I have not
Yes.
left my family. I'm still into the society. If you can
Yes.
see, because of the society pressure and society need, one day of the lecture, I couldn't take it. So
Yes.
being
Yes.
being in the society, we can do everything which is needed by Krishna.
Yes.
Just escaping from the responsibility, escaping from the family is not the right solution, because Krishna has never said in Bhagavad Gita that you have to leave your home, you have to become a monk. No, Krishna has never ever said in any of the sloka, Prabhu. So that's not the need.
Yes. Okay.
Someone who become monk is basically most, I will not say all, most of them actually fled away from the responsibility. If they have
Yeah.
encountered failures into their life, because of the failures of their life, they can't match an eye to eye to their family members or to near dear ones, so they run away. Then running away from responsibility will never make you a right monk, Prabhu.
Yes, yes, very true, Prabhuji. I will completely follow your footsteps and I will lead a noble life. Yeah,
Hare Krishna.
in
Hare
name of Bhagwan Krishna. And I one last question, Prabhuji. I don't know if this is a severe. Uh, uh, I think I'm stupid. So I have a aspiration which I am sharing only with you because you chant Krishna's name. You are his devotee, and a Vaishnava is as good as Krishna himself. That is what I have heard. Yeah. Now, I believe that this wish desire will be conveyed to Krishna.
Yes, yes, Prabhuji.
I
Prabhuji, that's what we just discussed, that in our body, soul is also there and super soul is also there. He is witnessing every moment. If you're doing good, he's noticing it down. If you're doing bad, maybe we think that no one is seeing ourselves. We
but he
do
is
the
watching.
yes, we do bad things in the darkness so that no one could notice it. But what about the soul and super soul? Whether it is darkness or not, he noticed each and every deeds of ours. So how can we escape from the super soul and soul? He
Yes,
is always,
Prabhu.
we just need to realize it, bro.
Yes, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, I may be stupid. I don't know if Krishna will think I am ridiculous, but I also want to see his Virat Roop. I want to also see his Vishwaroop. I mean, I know I'm not at all eligible, but and I know that no amount of penance, no amount of spiritual austerities can make a person eligible to for him to be able to see that. But I don't know in how many lives I will surely see. But this is my desire, which I convey to the lotus feet of the Lord Krishna,
Oh,
that
the
one day
thing,
I want to see him
try,
in
try
his
to
totalness.
try to do devotional service for Dvibhija Roop, Prabhu. That Virat Swarup is very much tough to see. It can bewilder you and me. We can get afraid from that particular thing. So why not? Why to go into that? Why not worship the Krishna in 200 forms, Prabhu? Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Usha Mataji.
Usha Mataji, please unmute.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Mataji, you are mute.
Uh, Sorry for that. Uh, yeah, sorry. Hare Krishna Prabhuji once again.
Hare
Uh,
Krishna.
First of all the like chapters we have come across till now, I don't know. I found this chapter bit difficult to grasp. Because I think हमारा ज्ञान का लेवल कम है तो ज्ञान और भी बढ़ाना जरूरी है. So that is why karma yoga and bhakti yoga was much more easy to digest than this. Yeah. So it is like as the every chapter goes on, I have first initially there will be like uh, sadness that oh we have so many things we have done wrong. Then there is a little hope that okay at least now we have understood this, so let us do it better and like in at least whatever we have in the next days or coming days we'll try to improve it so that we will nullify the negatives. So I have 2 3 questions. I'm sorry, but it's all related to the subject. Once I raised the question,
Yeah,
raised the
yeah.
hand
Please,
in the
please.
beginning. So you have been very patient with Atish Prabhuji. So please be patient with me also for this one. So first one is that gay, that one word which you said, I did not get it, Prabhuji. That is the first question I have. And that is why I raised the hand at the beginning, because I carried this Bhagavad Gita with me, and I always go through and make the notes together. So that word actually did not fit into my mind, so I could not get that part properly. And yesterday when that slides were PPT was shared, that Navavida Bhakti, that 9 types of this one, I missed the examples for 2 types. So I think the PPT which you shared, it did not have that slide, so I wanted that.
Mataji, 2 things. First thing
Yeah.
is that better late than never. So if we feel that certain things we have not done right in our life, okay, well and good. At least we know that we have not done right. So let accept and move ahead. So we have some amount of time so that we can correct our life. Second thing, the PPT which Mataji has shared into the WhatsApp group, that's a bit different than what I used as a PPT. So what I will do, I will send the PPT to the WhatsApp group or to the Mataji so that you can refer that. You can, in that you can have that Navda Bhakti or samples and with examples that who had done what. So that you can definitely refer to Mataji. Now coming to the terms, I will again repeat it for everyone else benefit. See, first thing is that Kshetra. I am repeating all the 4 topics. 4. Kshetra is nothing but our body. That's the field which I say. Okay. Chetragya, which is knower of the field. That means the knower of the field is who? The soul
So
and the super soul, because they reside in our body. The soul just know our body. That's it. That has the limitation. Whereas the super soul knows everyone's body. He super soul knows Pramod Dubey also, and he knows Usha Pai also. Okay. Now the third thing is that knowledge. Knowledge means something who understand the difference between the body, the knower of the body. Okay, that is the knowledge. Now the fourth topic which you are referring to as gay. That gay is nothing but the object of the knowledge. And when we say the object of the knowledge, that means what is the actual goal of the knowledge. The goal of the knowledge is known as object of the knowledge. And what should be the goal of the knowledge or the object of the knowledge, or what should be that gay? Krishna. Krishna is the ultimate goal of knowledge. If we have knowledge, then we have to be very clear about what's the purpose of the knowledge. What is the use of that knowledge? What is the use of the knowledge? To understand Krishna. And that Krishna understanding is nothing but gay.
Dhanyavad Prabhuji. Dhanyavad.
Any other question, Mataji?
No, Prabhuji, nobody has raised.
Okay. So I believe people are basically wishing that the class would end because it's 10:30. That's why there is no more questions. If you have any
Prabhuji,
questions,
please, one chat is there. Kshetra is body. Chetragya is knower of the body. Please confirm.
yes, yes. And body is nothing but the field. If you have, if anyone has any questions, please feel free to ask. If not, then we are coming to the close of the session. Tomorrow will be a very good chapter, very important chapter, wherein we can relate that chapter to us and someone who is very close to us. We can see what is that important chapter. It is material modes of nature. We are talking about the tamogun, rajagun, satogun, mode of ignorance, mode of passion, mode of goodness. That's a very important chapter. And from tomorrow onwards, this ignorance, passion, goodness, all this will go till the 18th chapter. And we can very well relate, okay, where actually we stand. Either we are satoguni, either we are tamoguni, or we are rajoguni. So I basically take a Hindi class, and now I'm taking this English class. So that's why at particular point I give a reference of Hindi also. So please don't mind with that. So if there is no more question, then we can end. Vancha kalpudru bhayascha kripa sindhu bhayo cha patitanam pavane bhayo vaishno namo nam. So let be meeting tomorrow at the same time 8:50, and I will give 5 minutes to my daughter. She will sing a bhajan for every one of us. She is also a Vaishnav. She also likes to do chanting. She also do bhajans for Krishna. She is just 12 years old. into the 7th standard.
Very
So
nice, Prabhuji.
till then, Hare Krishna, Radhe Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna, Mataji, Hare